Hi guys, and welcome back to Marathon-Crossfit here, and today I would like to talk about my biggest mistakes when I was on Stronglifts 5x5. So I did Stronglifts 5x5s 2013, 2014 and ran the program for 10 months. I also wrote a big review about it, which you can link towards in the description box down below, so you can read that, what I did for those 10 months. And Stronglifts 5x5 is one of the most popular beginner programs for lifting and for developing strength with a barbell. If you look up the trends on Google compared to other programs that are out there, the main advantages of the program are that it is very easy to understand and to follow. Like, you don't really need a lot of brain power to do it, and also there is a free app with it that does take out all of the thinking for you, at least for the first 1 to 2 years of you wanting to get stronger. So I definitely recommend it, but it also has some disadvantages. Like any other cookie cutter program, it doesn't really address your personal needs and your personal strengths and weaknesses. And also, because it is so simple and because it is marketed in a way that overemphasizes the simplicity of lifting to get people started, which is not entirely bad, but is bad if people then progress too quick without being reflective about their progress, like happened with me, then it can get a bit problematic. So always get a trainer who knows their stuff to look at you and actually give you some cues on form, because it's not just banging out some reps without reflecting about them. That usually leads to injury or to less progress being made than could be made. So here's the case for personal trainers. So my mistakes were I did not check on my form early enough. So I went into a pattern where actually I thought I was the biggest and greatest by doing only half squats and not really full squats to the bottom and full range of motion. So I was, at the end, I was squatting 130, 125 kgs for 5 reps, and I felt great with it. However, it was really poor form. Like, it was really, really poor form. And I had to basically rebuild the entire squat once I actually became a student of the beauty of strength and of the science of strength, if you so may speak. And it is just so frustrating that I basically had to rebuild my squat more or less from scratch. So first advice would be, don't make that mistake. Check on your form early. Take your time, especially in the beginning, to really develop the full range of motion and to work on ankle mobility and positioning, hand positioning, all of these kind of things, so that you don't ingrain bad form. Because usually, to get good form in and program it anew, that takes about 500 repetitions, according to Andy Bolton in his book Andy Deadlift Dynamite, that he co-authored with Pavel Tsatsouline. To get a bad pattern out that you've already established actually takes about 3,000 reps. So that is 6 times more effort to undo something that you stupidly did wrong in the first place, whereas it would have only would take you a 1/6 of the time to learn it properly in the first place if you actually put your mind to it. So just think about that regarding to form on Stronglifts 5x5. Now, the next point is lack of ankle mobility. So my ankle mobility is really, really, really poor, and still is really poor. It's something of my big nemesis, if you so may speak, and I have to fix it. So mainly what I'd like to say to you is, before even progressing to the bar, I probably should have gone to the book Supple Leopard for about 3 months to loosen up my entire hip, my ankles, and get to a point where I could squat down into a full squat without my heels coming off the ground before even going near the bar. So of course, let's say do as I say, not as I do, because I'm still squatting. But still though, if you really want to do it proper, then get your mobility in check before you progress to the bar. And that brings me to the next point. I progressed to the bar too quickly. I should have started out with a program like Simple and Sinister kettlebell from Pavel Tsatsouline, working on 12 kg, 16 kg kettlebells, getting a full range of motion, getting some goblet squats in, rather than going to an empty barbell right away, because barbell exercises are actually quite complex to learn. They're not the easiest to learn, and that's also something I definitely did wrong there. Although a case in favor, like at least I started with an empty bar, even though I could have started very easily with more than an empty bar. So at least I had my ego in check about, yeah, no, you know what, I'm actually learning something new here. Let's start with an empty bar, even though I will look silly in the gym. And then the next point would be 2 more points. One point would be not enough front squatting. So I feel like there is a case to be made, and maybe I will even write down a program for that and make that available on Marathon-Crossfit.com for free, that you should cycle in 1 day of front squatting rather than having 3 days of back squatting in the Stronglifts 5x5 program. I think that should start somewhere 3 months into the journey. You know, once you got the back squat down and you really are comfortable with it, then you start cycling in the front squats, also starting with an empty bar, and then just applying the same kind of thinking for the front squat as for the back squat on the progression, the linear progression on the Stronglifts 5x5. Now, why am I saying that? Because the doing more front squats would have helped me to get better balance, to get better hip mobility, to get better ankle mobility, and also to be stronger now. Now I have to also build up my front squat because I didn't do it in the early days. And you know, I struggled to front squat 100 kg with a PR for the back squat of 170. So you see there is a bit of a misalignment there, especially if you are interested in general strength like I am, and not just in powerlifting strength, where you basically don't care about your front squat because you're never going to perform it on the platform anyway. But if you're more of a CrossFitter, or if you're more of a person that wants general health, then you should be interested in both. Now, the front squat itself, I think it's technically a lot more challenging than the back squat. That is why I think it should be introduced to you a bit later. But, you know, once you get your grips with Stronglifts 5x5, I think maybe consider to do 1 day a week at least, because you will be training 3 days a week, and you will squat 3 days a week. So maybe consider to do front squats on one of these days rather than back squats all across. And then the last one, always a biggie, even Lane Norton mentions it on his channel. Lane Norton, if you don't know him, he is a very successful power lifter or power builder even. He won some bodybuilding competitions, powerlifting competitions. He has a PhD, and he knows his stuff. He knows about nutrition and how to coach people into winning competitions. And he also says that during his career he actually didn't stretch enough. So two stretches, or a couple of stretches that I'm currently using so that I can lose up more and stay healthy for longer, is the 90-90 stretch. Just look that up. The QL straddle, also just look that up. And the Cossack squats and the praying goblet squat. So these are the things I'm currently doing on mobility, and an excellent book on mobility is Supple Leopard. So look that one up and get a download of that to your Kindle to get even better as an athlete, because I think mobility is really a big one that is overlooked a lot because it's painful and it takes a lot of time. You know, people don't want to put in hard work. So that's that from my side on the biggest mistakes on Stronglifts 5x5, and I hope this is insight that helps you to run faster, lift stronger, and think deeper. Marathon CrossFit is all about enabling dads to get control of their health, because whenever I got control of my health, I also performed better in my job and in my relationship, and I'd like to create more reliable dads all around, because I think fatherlessness and unreliable dads are a structural problem that the Western world is currently facing, and this is my little contribution to make the world better. So please subscribe, please like, please share, please tell your friends about the cause, and if you have any questions or comments, please pop them down in the comment sections and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Bye bye.